Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Historic Anthology 5, which should be coming out tomorrow, 27th of May. We're in May, right? Yeah, we are in May. And we're going to be looking at the set at a brawl perspective and also historic constructed perspective, be it best of 1 or best of 3. So just before we start, let's just go through this real quick. There's 9 commons, 4 uncommons, 7 rares, and 5 mythics. Quite a few playable rares, so this set seems worth buying the bundle. I'm not gonna do it, I'm afraid to play player, but if you're thinking about it, I think it's worth buying. So let's get started. So we have Court Homunculus. It's a 1/1 for 1 artifact creature, gets +1/+1 as long as you control another artifact. That seems real good in the Tempered Steel deck. Seems like a very decent one drop to have. You have other artifact synergies, so a good card indeed. I don't think it's going to be a brawl card, but definitely a constructed card. Constructed as in historic constructed. It's just weird because it's historic brawl. And anyways, Grizzly Salvage, a black and a green for an instant. Reveal the top 5. You may put a creature land from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. I do like this card. Definitely for brawl. I think it's a good way for graveyard synergies as well as just finding lands, which is fine if you're playing a lot of colors. Multicolor spell goes well in the Niv Mizzet decks, the 5-color Niv Mizzet. As far as historic goes, I feel like there are better ways to put cards in your graveyard. I do have a deck, John Aura combo, that does enjoy cards like this, but I'm not quite sure if it's good enough. I am playing a bad version of this, so I might play a 1 or 2 off of this, but I think overall it's just not going to see much play at all. I call Wellspring 2 mana for an artifact that when he enters the battlefield you draw a card, and when it goes to the graveyard you draw a card. So this is good for any kind of deck that sacrifices artifacts. We don't currently have one doing that in the format right now, but there is the fake ATOG from, I want to say it's from Kaladesh. So that's a possibility there. You can trigger it, you can sacrifice, you can play it, draw a card, sacrifice to draw another card and try to go off from there. Other than that, I don't see it getting anywhere in its existence. It really sees a lot of play, well, sees somewhat play in Pauper, but Pauper on Arena is only standard Pauper unless they choose to change it. So I think overall this is not going to see a lot of play. Next up we have Into the North, 1 and a green for a sorcery, search your library for a snowland card, put onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. This is a rampant growth, but better in the sense that we have snow duos in the format, so you can search for dual lands. The issue is you're going to be playing tapped duos in your deck, and you're not always going to have this rampant growth. I don't think it's gonna be good enough to be played. I mean, this is a slam dunk in Brawl, but as far as historic goes, I wanna say it's not gonna be played. I mean, Rampant Growth is fine. We have Cultivate Seas play, but you're getting 2 lands even though 1 is into your hand. So not sure if it's gonna see play. I think there's potential there, but forcing you to play tapped snow duels is not where we want to be, I don't think. Next up I have Merfolk Looter, 1 and a blue for 1/1 that taps, draw a card and then discard a card. This is just not good enough. The body is so mediocre, the ability is fine, there isn't really a madness stack. There are better ways to discard cards. This is just not going to see any play. This is just a filler for the set to reach the 25 cards threshold. Next up we have Ray of Revelation, 1 and a white for an instant that destroys an enchantment, has a flashback for bringing to destroy an enchantment. The better ways to destroy enchantment, more versatile ways. The flashback is nice, but there isn't that many enchantments seeing play. It's just a nice card to have in the format, just like as a safety valve. That's the word. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna see much play at all. Relic of Progenitors, 1 mana for an artifact that you tap to make a player exile card from the graveyard. They choose, not you. And then you can pay 1 and exile it, and then exile all graveyards, and you draw a card. This is top tier graveyard hate in most formats, Pauper and Modern. So this is definitely going to be a very, very good card. However, a lot of decks Loro's decks are not gonna want to play this as the graveyard hate. They have the other one that I can't remember the name of right now, because you don't want to be exiling your own graveyard and you can't recur it with Loro's. But this is a good hate if you're not playing Loro's. And yeah. Next up we have Vault Scourge. So this is just like Homunculus. Why can't I say certain words? It's gonna go in the Tempered Steel deck. So it's 1 in a Phyrexian black mana. So basically you can pay 1 and 2 life to play a 1/1 flying lifelink. Now imagine you play this on turn 1 and then you follow it up with Tempered Steel, any other what is the other guy that Overseer, that you can tap to put counters on artifacts. So this is just going to be a good threat that is flying and makes the race in your favor with the lifelink. Just a very good card overall. Next up we have Ancient Grudge. 1 in a red for an instant that destroys an artifact and flashbacks for green. Just like Real Revelation, this is more of a safety vault. We already have Valve. We have already a Braid. We had the one Rip Apart that was just printed. Flashback is nice if you have a lot of graveyards and if you're milling yourself. This can be nice, but there are better ways to deal with artifacts, more versatile ways right now. Intangible Virtue. So 1 in a white for an enchantment. Creature tokens you can target +1/+1 have vigilance. I love this. I love tokens. We don't really have a tokens deck in the format right now, so this could be kind of like a good way to go. We do have Anthems at 3 mana, but a 2 mana Anthem is nice, and the Vigilance is nice. If we can get Lingering Souls anytime soon, this is gonna be really good. But yeah, I love this card. I'm definitely gonna make a brawl deck with this at some point when they bring the queues back. Next up we have Reverse Engineer. 3 blue and a blue for sorcery with Improvise. Improvise means you can tap artifacts to help pay for it, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that's what Improvise means. MTG Improvise. Execute ability. Okay, yeah, so it's like Convoke but with artifacts basically. And draw 3 cards. This goes well with the Icon Wellspring that I spoke about earlier. We don't really have an artifact deck in the format right now, and yeah, even in artifact deck, this card is not even that good. There are better ways to draw cards. I don't think the artifact deck is gonna be slow enough to play Reverse Engineer or want to be tapping your creatures for Reverse Engineer. So yeah, I'm not a fan at all. Obviously in Brawl it's gonna be nicer there, but yeah. Trash for Treasure. 2 in a red for sorcery as an additional cost. Sacrifice an artifact, return an artifact. We have some big artifacts already in the format. We have the 7 mana one that adds mana, and then I can't remember the name right. I'm really bad with card names. Platinum Angels in the format. There are some interesting artifacts. Is this gonna be good enough? I don't know. There probably is some dumb thing you can do with this, but I can't think of an artifact off the top of my head right now that would do something very stupid with it. Next up we have Willow Rogue. So this is the last of the commons and uncommons. So it's a 2 and a blue and a 2 and double blue for a human rogue 2/2. When he enters you create 2/1/1, top the tokens with flying, and then you can tap 2 artifacts to give a creature unblockable. I don't see this being good enough for historic. I think it's just a tad too slow. Obviously 4 bodies for 4 mana is very nice, but is it enough? I do not believe so. It's going to be quite enough. The body again is very mediocre. Dies to like a Bone Crusher Giant or anything of the sort. Just a no for me, unfortunately. Obviously again Brawl is going to be very nice. Next up we have a Carcass Command. Red and a green for an instant. Choose 2. Your opponents can gain life this turn. Nice. Deals 3 damage to an opponent, so Lava Spike, nice. You can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield, no one uses that. And then creatures you can target +1/+1 and gain reach until end of turn. So this card we used to be played a lot in like somewhat burn decks, like Naya somewhat burn decks and Zoo decks as well. Pumping your creatures, your small creatures you played early to put pressure to push in the last bit of damage, getting a little bit of a Lava Spike in as well. I think the only issue with this card is deciding how many creatures you want to play, which kind of takes away from your burn spells. But I think it's definitely worth playing with this card for sure. I think it will definitely. I don't think it's gonna go into. Will it go into Gruul? Because the thing with Gruul, they're playing mostly somewhat big creatures, even though they're smallly priced. But I think I can see this being in a Gru aggro deck for sure. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one. This one is one of those cards that I'm definitely gonna have a 4 off, craft 4 off early on. Dragonstorm 8 and then red for a sorcery with storm, so he copies for every card that has been cast before this turn, during this turn. Search area for dragon, permanent card, put onto the battlefield and shuffle, so you can get a bunch of dragons from the deck. This is something you wanna be doing something funky in brawl. I don't see this being playable in constructed. Although you can probably make a fun meme deck that might work. I might look into that. Dromoka's Command, another very very good command. The commands are usually very good, but these two especially, and the Colgan's Command are like 3 very good ones. So choose to prevent all damage target instant sorcery spell would deal this turn, so you can like stop a burn spell that will kill a creature or hurt your face. Target plays sacrifice an enchantment, so there's enchantment hate that's a lot more versatile and in the same color as Ray of Revelation. Target put a +1/+1 count on target creature, so you can pump your creature and it can be and work as a removal spell as well. So I can definitely see both of these in the same deck as like a Naya Zoo, and these being your only non-creature spells. You play 24 lands, 8, so 28, 32. So you play 28 creatures. Is that my maths right? Yeah, you play 28 creatures, 24 lands, and these 8 fellas, and you got yourself a deck. Like, I think that's amazing. I think these two are fantastic. You can also just go green-white. There's the green-white counters deck, of course. There's the green-white counters deck, and just shove 4 Dromoka's Command into it. But I might try a Naya Zoo deck for sure. K Command, Colgan's Command. So 1 black and red for an instance. Choose 2. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Target player discards a card. Destroy target artifact. So more versatile artifact destruction, and deals 2 damage to any target. I can see this being played in Shadow. You can see this being played in the Pyromancer decks. This is just a very versatile and efficient spell. There's some artifacts you want to destroy for sure. You obviously will be happy to return any of your creatures, your young Pyromancers, your Death Shadows, your Aspirant. Is that Aspirant is it called? Not sure. You can even return a Croxy if you want. Making your opponent discard card is nice as well, and can even kill a lot of important creatures. This is a top tier card. Ojutai's Command, 2 white and blues, a bit expensive. Instant, choose 2, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And that's not exciting. You gain for life, not exciting. Counter target creature spell, draw a card. So I think this is the 2 modes I see most play. You could go into some kind of blue-white just sky control deck, but in that case you're probably just using these 3 being pushed to only counter target creature spells instead of any spell. Kind of sucks, but you know, it's kind of a bad cryptic command in a way. But I might see a copy or 2 in some kind of blue-white control deck. Trying to think if there's some kind of like low to the ground. I do have a blue-white Magecraft deck, but I don't think I want to play a 4-mana spell, maybe a 1-off. I have to think a bit more about this one and see it in action. Next up we have Silumgar's Command, 3, a blue and a black for an instant. Choose 2, not 1. Counter target non-creature spell, so it's kind of like the other way around from this one. Return target opponent's on the hand, so you're bouncing something that's nice. Target creature gets -3/-3, should kill most creatures, and destroy target planeswalker. 5 mana is very steep. It is quite versatile. We don't really have a blue-black control deck right now. There is Grixis. They're more mid-rangey, and they're already quite heavy on the 5 mana slots. I'm not sure if they want this card. This definitely does not go into rogues. I don't see it really birthing a new archetype, so I think this is going to be a sleeper, and maybe in the future you might see it play. There's obviously going to be those crazy people that like, oh, Esper is back. Esper is not back. Esper will never exist. Let's give up on that idea. Anyways, next up we have Stifle. So for singular blue mana, an instant that counters an activated or triggered ability. You could counter someone fetching with the Fable. Fable Passage. You could counter a Planeswalker ability. You could counter a Thassa's Oracle trigger. Even though like the Tainted Pact deck was banned, Thassa's Oracle is still legal, so watch this space. It's nice to have in the format, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. And lastly, we have 5 Praetors, all 5 Praetors from back in the day. I think, is that Phyrex a new Phyrex? I'm not sure. I wasn't playing Magic then. So let me just look at 5 of them and let you know that this one is going to be playable, this one's going to be playable, the other 3 not going to be playable. In Historic, in Brawl, all 5 of them are great, but as far as constructed Historic goes, competitive Historic, it's just Historic. I don't know why I'm struggling, because I'm not talking about normal Brawl, I'm talking about Historic Brawl, but I guess they call it Friendly Brawl for some reason. But anyways, so these 2 are the main ones we're looking at, these 3, but especially these 2 in the sense of reanimated decks. Elish Norn, just from coming in, is going to wipe their board, or kill a lot of their creatures, make your creatures a lot scarier, but you're not going to be playing that many creatures in your reanimated deck. Sheldred, if survives the turn, it just goes mental. Even on the upkeeps, already getting a creature off from them. Boraclax is nice, getting extra mana, and when your opponent taps to deal with it, it's not going to untap. So there is that, but like on itself, it's not that exciting to reanimate. Jingitax is 10 mana, is a lot of mana, so you don't have the safety valve. Again, me with safety valves of casting it, unlike the 7 mana ones, which, like, worst case scenario, you can cast it. But yeah, let's go through them real quick. So Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite, I don't know, English not my first language, this doesn't sound like a real word. 5 and double white for a 4/7 vigilant creature. Other creatures you control get +2/+2, creatures your opponent control get -2/-2, that's just a good ability. For Brawl, fantastic. For constructed, good reanimated target. We do have, I can't remember the name of the card, but we do have some reanimation spells. Jingitaxis, Core Augur, I can't say the word ever. 8 and double blue for flash 5/4. At the beginning of your end step, you draw 7 cards. You do have a maximum hand size still, but your opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. So basically, they can't keep any cards in hand. So if they don't use their cards, they have to discard at the end step. But again, Dead Body, Flash, very expensive. Not a fan. Shieldred, so it's a 6/6 Swamp Walk creature for 7 mana. Beginning of your upkeep, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's good in like a reanimator deck, because you can reanimate the other targets that you didn't reanimate to get Shieldred back. And at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they sacrifice a creature. So yeah, this is just very good, very efficient. Ura Brask the Hidden, 3 and double red. So this is the most costable one, because it's the cheapest one. 4/4. Creatures you control have haste, so it has haste itself, and creatures you opponent control into the battlefield tapped. It just doesn't do enough. Those abilities don't really matter that much. So yeah, I don't suspect this card's gonna see a lot of play unless you can make some dumb combo deck that's just reanimating a bunch of creatures in the same turn, and then you can kill it. Unfortunately, it's 5 mana, so it doesn't work in a Gyruda deck. But yeah. And last we have Vorinclex, the Voice of Hunger. 6 and double green for a 7/6 trample creature. When you tap a land for mana, add 1 additional mana of any type the land produced. And when an opponent taps a land for mana, the land is untapped during its control the next untap step. I suspect this is probably gonna get banned in Brawl. I guess they wouldn't ban it because they don't care about Historic Brawl anyway. As far as Constructor goes, it's just like whatever, doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's my take on the cards. If you guys have a different opinion, please do let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.